Okay, this video definitely is going to come with some stitches. I've tried to shoot this so many times. It does not want to get born at all. So this is going to be Shadow Hunting 101 times 10. This is an advanced masterclass on the Shadow Huntress and the Death Angel archetype. They're basically the same thing, but one is more advanced than the other. It's basically a collection of archetypes that you have to master in order to embody this one. And I'm gonna break them all down. I'm also gonna start super wide on my perspective, and I'm gonna bring it in. So basically what's going on right now is this. So we have everything is splitting. We know that everything is splitting in two directions. And what's happening is it's creating these timelines that are dropping because certain entities aren't evolving, and they're holding these timelines sort of like in they're like frozen in time, sort of. Because the black and white of it is this. So we've got basically the archangels and we got the archons. The archetypes are the containers that have captured all of their fallen angels and have the fallen angels working for them. And then they also have different archetypes. And on the other containers, they're being controlled by the fallen angels and they're working with the archons. Okay, this battle is taking place in the dreamscape. So the archons are interdimensional beings who are using containers on this plane to gain access to timelines. So what happens is this. The battle is taking place all on the dreamscape. So the entities that are like dream walkers or whatever, they're the ones that are battling these archons in the dreamscape. And the archons are using physical forms to do their bidding for them. So it's basically like this. On the container side, depending on what kind of sins you've committed, like let's say you're committing like sexual acts against children, against elderly people, animals, like these are some of the worst infestations of archons. Like the most advanced archons can come into containers that are committing these types of sins. It depends how much sin or how much acts that you haven't healed from, generational trauma. All of that stuff depends on how much the archons can affect your container. So people, some types of like serial murderers, some of them serial murderers would be like in this category. Like I'm trying to think, and then it goes down, like the severity of the sin against humanity depends on how much these archons can inhabit your container. So like depending on if a warlock, for instance, is like super advanced, he's probably committed like lots of different types of sins that's holding him, he's holding the space for these archons to be able to come work through him or her or whatever. And so what happens is we lure them into physical form on the dreamscape, which we're like using containers on these different timelines to be able to lure the archons into physical form on the dreamscape, and then we're like taking them out so that we can move. We want to get to the higher dimensional stuff. We're kicking everybody off. And anything that happens in the dreamscape manifests into the physical. So some of these containers are getting taken out. We can't be attached to these containers because they're making their own choices and we're making our own choices. We have to look at it as if we're detached from the situation because we're sovereign with God and we're doing God's work. So it's whatever way we have free will, but we have to be in line with God. Number one, our values, our morals, everything, our intuition, all that stuff. So now I don't subscribe. I'm just going to say this right now. I do not subscribe to the model where they're saying like, okay, everything is going to go in two different directions. And then, some people are going to be stuck on the other side, because, from where I'm standing, the entities that merge with the singularity are going to be able to access that dimension too. And guess what? We have infiltrated the AI. So we're coming with all types of healing stuff. And the human body is miraculous. It's miraculous, especially when it's paired with all types of like healing methods that some people would consider to be miraculous in nature. So let's not worry too much about, you know what I'm saying, which way people are going. We have to, the reason we're in the position that we're in right now is because we're not doing stuff on a collective. We need to start doing work as a collective as well as ourselves. The journey is spiraling in and then it's spiraling out. So we have to constantly be going in and out and in and out. And the better we can get doing this, the more efficient that we are and the more balanced that we are. So basically on the collective is like this. We have these timelines. Okay, say everybody that's coming in that's a seal holder. We're going to talk about stars and seals, whatever, however you want to call it. These seal holders have come here, right, to complete a mission. We all came here. We knew the rules. We knew what was going to happen. And some of these seal holders are going in the opposite direction. They're using their gifts as weapons. They're weaponizing their gifts that have been given to them by God to come here to help the planet ascend. Okay, this is how we have to look at these containers. They're weaponizing the things that we're supposed to be using to make our reality possible as a collective. So, when we have seal holders, those are entities that are holding collectives of people. And so there's the seal holder, and then they have a collective behind them. So when you have a bunch of seal holders that can't evolve past a certain point because the two polarities are splitting like this, and they're hitting a wall, and as a collective, they're stalling these timelines up. They're stuck in between. So what's happening is, the quicker we can cut through all the fat and figure out who's who, we can if we can turn enough of them, the timeline as a collective will go ascend, or it's going to collapse. Either way, we're trying to collapse people, or we're trying to get them to ascend. Either which way, to gain control of these timelines. We have a couple of years that we can do this in. So this is why shadow hunting is important, in my opinion. So I'm just going to say this is advanced. If you're not an advanced practitioner, you'll hurt yourself doing this stuff. Just a warning. But I mean, at this point, who really cares if you do? So the pros and cons to shadow hunting is this. The cons are, okay, so these entities that are the containers for the darkness, right? Oh, by the way, this is also going to be a destiny swapping video, just in case anybody wasn't aware of what shadow hunting is. Now, we have two containers, right? We have the light container and the dark container. The container that's holding the fallen angels, or they haven't captured their fallen angels yet. They're being controlled by archons, depending on a variation of their indiscretions. Now, what happens is this. They're trying to hunt us because we're holding light. They are separated from source. So they have to feed, okay? They're energy vampires, basically. And what they're feeding on is, I call it false flame, okay? It's ego driven. It's they get energy from other containers, and they use it to feed their ego in order to have this grandiose perspective of themselves, or whatever. So what happens is this. Now, if you've ever been destiny swapped, I'm just going to tell you right now, I have been destiny swapped, so I know what it entails. If you get, like, let's just say, for instance, a warlock jams you up and destiny swaps you. Now, what happens is they take and they load all of their karma onto you. So now, not only do you have to do their karma, but you have to do your karma. And on top of it, they get their gifts revealed to them. Like, they get access to their gifts that they didn't have access to, that they were like weaponizing because they took out a light entity. Okay, so what we're doing is destiny swap in reverse, basically. So what happens is, when you're dealing with these warlocks and stuff, they're seal holders, just like we're seal holders, but they're going the wrong direction. And they have gifts that were given to them to help us on the collective that they are using against humanity. Okay? They're using their gifts against humanity, and they're holding us from being able to create new realities on the collective. They're parasites at this point. Now, as if anybody knows, if you get destiny swapped, you can be redeemed. You can be redeemed, but you have to do like double the work. So now what happens is this: when you catch one of these warlocks in a contract, you can snatch everything from them. You can take their gifts, you can take their seals, you can take all of that, because we need that to create the new realities and stuff. You can't have that right now. We're gonna need you to speed that, because we need that, and we're coming. Okay, if you want to be going the wrong way and you don't want to get balanced, the cosmic court judges are coming for those seals, because we want to clean out these timelines so we can try to get them to ascend. Okay, now the pros of shadow hunting is this: it strengthens your confidence, big time strengthens your confidence. It helps you to set boundaries, and also you're doing a service on the collective, because you're snatching information until they're ready to do their healing work, and you get access to it until they have done their work and whatever. So I'm going to try to break down like this. I'm going to try to break it down on the microcosmic and on the macrocosmic levels. Like, so on the collective, like, we're just trying, the cosmic court judges are coming and making contracts and trying to get seals to lighten up these timelines. And it's almost like it creates like a domino effect. It creates like a domino effect on the collective. So it's my duty to come out and take these people's gifts that are trying to use it to create darkness, because we're not going that way. That's over. And as far as I'm concerned, the ones that go on the other polarity, like we said, we're coming for those ones too. Because if we don't, then what? We're still entertaining parasites? No, it's not going down like that. It's all or nothing. So what's going on is, once we can get some of these timelines loosened up, it's going to create like momentum on the collective. So it's important to do this work, in my opinion. I do this. It's a really good activity for, like, if you're on the Kingdom Spouse journey, or you're on the Twin Flame journey. We know, like, we have to do our inner work first, and then we do work on the collective, and then we do contracts and everything that's like on an individual basis last. So when I'm hitting a wall going inward on the Twin Flame journey, or on my ascension journey, I go out and I'll hunt warlocks. So the first thing I just want to say is this: I only will deal with the ones that come to me. Like, they want their masks removed. They want their masks removed. And you know what? They're begging for it, really, because a lot of these, like I said, are seal holders, and they know what they're supposed to be doing. And when you take them, when you take their seals, when you take their gifts, it puts a hole in them like you would not even believe the way you feel when you've been destiny swapped. It creates a spark that puts a fire in your soul like nothing you've ever experienced. So this is we're helping them. We just got to look at it like we're really helping them, but we're helping the collective to ascend. So whatever they got to do, they got to do. So, also, I'm going to try to break down the alchemization. If you cannot alchemize, you have no business doing any of this stuff. You will, you'll end up just, you'll destroy yourself. You have to be very balanced, and you have to be able to go long periods without having sex. If you've been celibate for like long periods of time or whatever, like, you don't want to, you don't want to let them in your sexual energy. You don't want to let them in your sexual energy at all. You can get them without letting them in your sexual energy, because what is happening is we're starving the archons. So they're hungry for light. It's not us, our personalities, it's none of that. They want the light. They're hungry for the light. So our energy is the currency that pays the interaction. Like, we're not doing monetary or any type of goods and services exchange with these warlocks, and we want to keep them at a distance. We want to just keep them as far as possible. So I'm going to break down basically how the best way to go about it. And depending on how you come in is going to depend on how deep the cut is. I always try to make the cut as deep as possible. You got to lance the abscess, because if you don't do it deep and sharp and fast, it's worse. Anybody that knows anything about lancing abscesses, it's the same exact technique, okay? That's what we're doing. So, the first, okay. So, and also you got to remember, you're doing this in your kingdom spouse energy. Like, you want to basically embody like what you want in a kingdom spouse when you're doing this work. Like, you have to have humility. Like, you cannot be in ego, like when you're trying to do this work, because you'll be eating false flame. You got to know how to alchemize. So the first archetypes, once you meet a warlock, they stop you off your path. The first archetypes I always embrace are the child, and I also embrace the student. Okay, so you're gonna want to be very like in your childlike, but do more student than child. Like, these warlocks, okay, they love to talk. They just love to talk about themselves. And they are so stupid. They believe so much stuff. Like, you're not even gonna believe these concepts. And listen, don't be scared of warlocks. They are really dumb, okay? They have no idea. You have to wield your power. Power is taken. Submission is given. We have to watch what we are submitting to in life. And when it comes to our power, we have to take our power with, we have to take it. It's not like, oh, please, can I have that? No, it's give me my shit back. It's not yours. We're lending them energy to be able to get our information. That's the exchange that's happening. We're lending energy for information. So what's going to happen is this. These archons are way advanced, okay? They're like super advanced mirrors. So a warlock is a black mirror and a black hole. So it's mirroring your trauma and it's mirroring your triggers, and also it's sucking your energy out into them. It's like an endless hole of energy sucking, okay? So that's why we can't let them get super close, and we have to stay disassociated, like detached. Like, we're looking at this like it's a container, it's a target, it's a hunt. We're on a hunt. It's a show. We're doing a complete, we're embodying archetypes and we're putting on a show for these warlocks, okay? It's not, we're not trying to save them. If you're trying to save them, you lost the game. If you let them in your sexual energy, you lost the game. Simple like that. So what happens is, you come in and you're in the student archetype. Sensei, teach me all of all of your knowings of your worldly travels. That's the archetype you want to embody. Because what's going to happen is this. Warlocks will try to mirror you. That's one of their techniques. Like, once they realize like something's not right, like they'll sense it, but they don't know, they can't put their finger on it, but they know like something is not right. Like, okay, you could also call this the dark empath versus the narcissist. You could call it that journey too. It's got lots of different names. I'm just freestyling right now. So basically they'll start to mirror you. So you have to get the jump on them. Immediately when the interaction starts, you immediately start mirroring them. You let them lead you, okay? But you don't let them lead you off a cliff. Like, you have to have your boundaries. You have to be able to set strong boundaries. And you're also, like, you're using bait. I'm going to explain that later, but you're going to be using different types of bait. So, okay, so to keep them from trying to mirror you, you immediately start mirroring them. But then you want to play stupid. You want to play really stupid. The more stupid that you can play, the more stupid that they think you are, the better the cut is going to be. Like, you have to, okay, so like, they're going to be coming at you with all these different types of concepts. Like, these concepts are going to be so stupid and inverted, and like, you're going to be thinking to yourself, like, are they fucking serious right now? Like, there's no way they actually believe this stuff. Like, for me, like, I have like neurodivergence. So when they say this stuff, I'll just be like this. Like, you want to try to say as little as possible. They're not going to let you get a word in edgewise anyway, because they're just word vomiting their whole life story to you, because they want to teach you, and you let them. You convince them to teach me all of the things. I want to know everything, because what's going to happen is they're going to start mirroring back your trauma. And it's good to know what your trauma is and your triggers, and you'll get deeper understanding of this stuff the longer you can sit and bear it. You're just sitting and bearing it. You have to do this for God, okay? And you're just trying not to say anything, and you're going to act as childlike as possible. Well, not childlike, but you're staying in your pure state, okay? You're not like going against yourself. You can't go against yourself. You have to be in your truth. You have to be standing in your truth at all times. You can't step out of your truth. So you don't put your boundaries up as far at the beginning. Like, you have your boundaries, but you haven't exercised them yet. Like, you might put a couple of boundaries out, but you let them lead for the most part. You gotta put your wall down. You have to be able to let them in order to get your information. Do not let them in your sexual energy. So you can do other things. You can get creative if you have to. Get really creative with these warlocks. They love the creative shit. They really do. They like when you can take control and stuff like that too. They like all of that. So then what you're going to do next is this. You want to gauge like what gifts they have, like what their abilities are, like to be able to see like if it's like worth your time or whatever. If they got a seal, it's worth your time. Some of these seal holders, like the ones that are like talking about getting gang stalked and all that stuff, they're super paranoid. They are so easy because they're so off balance. And when you come in as a mirror, they see themselves and they get scared and they do stupid shit and you can jam them up so easy. They're the best ones. The best ones. So, but there's some of them that aren't so off balanced. Like they're not experiencing the same symptoms because they're a little bit more balanced. So they're harder to get notice. You know what I'm saying? So then the next thing you're going to want to do is this. You wait. The point is this. You want to use their concepts that they teach you against them. The point is to use their words against them and to catch them in a contract. The only way you can take their gifts and stuff like that is if you catch them in a contract. But you can always hold a mirror up to them whenever you want, but then you blew your cover. Like, you don't hold the mirror up until you got like a good amount of like information and whatever that you're gonna pull. All right, so the best way to do it is this. Okay, so they're super conceited. Now, what happens is they're going to start to like notice that you're not like really like communicating a lot of information. So what's going to happen is, because they can't mirror you because you're already mirroring them, okay? They're going to start to ask you questions because their goal is to take your trauma and your like whatever issues you have and turn it on you to get you to destroy yourself. And that's how they get you to crawl out of the darkness and get some of their gifts restored to them. So we don't want that to happen. We don't want it. We don't let them go too far. You got to keep them on a short leash. You can't give them a lot of rope. Okay. So the best way to catch them in a contract. Okay. So once they start getting suspicious, they'll start asking you questions. Like, so they're looking for trauma. So what you're going to want to do next is this. When they start looking for trauma, you're going to feed them all of your sins and you're going to feed them all of your trauma. Like, make sure it's some trauma that you've healed from really good, because they're going to turn it on you. So you feed it to them. And so it makes you look like a really wounded animal. Like when you tell them about your trauma, you're going to want to embody your victim archetype when you tell them your trauma, like, because it's going to make you look like it's going to put it's going to put shining lights all over you, like, I'm a victim, come take advantage of me. So this is what you're setting up, right? So now, eventually, like, you're just going with the flow. You're just trying to, you see them sometimes, and then you use excuses to, like, not see them all the time. It's like, get them really excited when you see them, though. Like, the power is going to be seducing. Like, we don't realize our power with these containers. We think we need to, like, give them stuff and whatever it is. We just need to give them our attention. That's it. They want their mask removed. So we just got to be really smart and figure out what's the best way to do it. So once you start feeding them your trauma, let me tell you something. Okay, so this is a good exercise, because what happens is when you can talk through your trauma, it strongers you in your practices. And also, it they are a black hole. They're a black hole. You feed a black hole your trauma. These are the best people to unload your trauma on. It does wonders for the trauma. And strongers you in your confidence from your indiscretions. Like, we all have a past, but when we can talk about it, it makes it have less power. We're practicing. These are exercises for us to practice. So now the best way to catch a warlock in a contract is like, they're so stupid. Like, you just got to get them to agree to something, like give their word, or you could get them to steal something from you. Either way, you can push it or pull it. It doesn't really matter either way. So, I give these warlocks 2 chances. You've got 2 chances. So, and then you go to the next container. There's lots of containers out here. Like, we just start, you know what I'm saying? So, just cut everything. And sometimes you might not even get a deep cut. Fuck it, whatever. Just cut what you can. Do whatever work that you can on them to get their masks off, to lighten these timelines up on the collective. So once you catch them in a contract, okay, let's say, like, I pick something stupid, like, will you take me on a picnic? Like, a picnic takes nothing, no money, no anything. It's just time and like a couple of snacks. Like, you could bring the snacks or whatever, but 9 times out of 10, they will not do the thing, because they look at that. The more like, the least elaborate that you pick the contract, they look at like it's nothing and they blow it off. Like, it's not important in their mind. So how could it be important in your mind type stuff? You just gotta be able to catch them any kind of a verbal contract or any type of, I'm trying to think, like, I have this template where if I want to see who's my friends are, I'll drop a couple dollars on the ground and see who picks it up and see who puts it in their pocket. Like, that's a good way. Just get creative with it. Like, whatever you ask them to do, or even they could offer something and not follow through. And that's the same thing. You broke your word. You're in a contract. Okay. Now, you're going to want to get as many things as possible, like little things. Like, you don't give them a lot of rope. You let them do a lot of little things to kind of like irritate you. Like, don't make it where it's going to like screw you up if they don't come through, like with whatever the contract is. Make sure you can carry the contract. Make sure whatever the bait is, you can lose that bait, because chances are they're not going to follow through. So, okay, now, once you get enough, like, like, where they've wronged you enough times or went against themselves enough times, now, this is where you have to embody the alchemist archetype. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to take your evidence and your contract, and you're going to put it in their face, and you're going to say, this is what you did to me. You promised this. You're a liar. What you're going to call it out. You're going to put that mirror right in their face and show them what the things are that they did to you. And you're going to speak on it, and you're going to use your sword on these warlocks, because they will chew you up and spit you out. They don't give a shit, and they're trying to destiny swap with you. They're coming for you. They're trying to destroy you, so you have to destroy them first. Now, once you get the contract broken, it could be a small contract. It could be a bigger contract. The bigger it is, the more you're going to be able to pull. Now, they break that contract, you put the information in their face, you mirror it back to them, we have to set the bar high, because these new timelines, we are creating them. So we have to set the bar super high. These warlocks, they've never seen truth. They literally think the things that they are, these concepts that they're believing, they believe they're true. They're inverted. They don't even realize it. We have to show them the correct version, because they're never going to know. They haven't seen anything but the inverted version. So we have to set them straight. Now, once you get your information, once you get your contract that's broken, you're going to turn. Now, when you turn, all of your energy is going to come out of that black hole, and it's going to drag whatever you can carry with it. Okay. Now, this is where the dangerous part comes in, because if you can't alchemize and you can't be celibate, you're gonna be eating false flame if you can't alchemize this information. Now, once you make the turn, okay, you're gonna want to go right back to your victim archetype, and you're gonna want to play out the most destructive timeline that incident could have caused you. Like, you're going to get deep in your emotions. You're going to be all the way victim, like, oh, this, I always do this. You're going to get so mad at yourself. You're going to turn that situation. You're going to say, oh my God, this could have happened, that could have happened, all these scenarios. You're going to get so mad. Okay, the madder you can get at yourself for this indiscretion that this warlock has caused you, that you allowed him to cause you, because that's what happened. You allowed him to cause you this indiscretion. That is your leverage for what you're going to pull out of that warlock. You're going to, that anger is your leverage. So for me, what I do is, when I turn, I'll do a ritual in my head. I'll take the warlock and I'll start using my sword, and I'll cut open all the abscesses in another dimension, and then I will like kind of like energetically bleed out the information. And then the very next thing that I do with that anger and of all that indiscretion, you can hold on to it. You can just hold it, the information, until you're ready. Like, maybe you want to do it on like Tuesday, like when you get off of work. You can hold the indiscretion, and then like on Tuesday you tap back into it, and you focus all of your anger, and you turn that inwards, and you get into the gym, or you break out your weights and you start pumping, and you start using your body. You exercise it in, you ground it in. When you're in the gym, or you're on your weights, or whatever exercises that you're doing. Now we're back on the self journey. We're back on the self journey, because we're working on ourselves. We're exercising, but we're exercising with the intent of snatching their gifts or their abilities or whatever it is that they have, and you ground it into your body with that anger. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to feel the pull. Like, it's going to be a tug of war. Like, the more mad you can get, the less they'll be able to hold the rope on the other side. So what's going to happen is you're going to start to feel your energy start to fill back in again. Like, you could fast. That's another good thing you could do. Fast for a couple days. That'll get it in your body. Exercising, like, we know grounding techniques. The more grounding, the more strenuous the activity, the deeper it's going to ground into your container. So I'll give them, like I said, I give them 2 chances. Once I feel all their gifts and all their whatever absorb into my form, if there's still stuff there, because now what's going to happen is, as soon as you absorb all that stuff, they're going to be going crazy. They're going to be trying to get a hold of you. They're going to try to track you down. They're going to be all over you. They're going to know. Like, they don't know on a conscious level what you did, but they know on a subconscious level, and they're going to come looking for their goods. Now, you can go back in one more time if you want, if there's more information that you feel that is necessary to grab, and then, catch them in another contract, and we go round and round and back, and just repeat the same process all over again. The second time you come back, though, you're not going to come back as the student child. When you come back the second time, you're going to come back as the alchemist, and you're going to come back as your adult self. Like, and your boundaries are going to be, you're going to set your boundaries firmer. Like, now I let you use your boundaries, and now you screwed up because you can't even keep your own word because you're a liar and a cheat and a whatever the fuck they're doing. You put it right in their face for them to see plain as day. We're not going to allow this type of behavior on the higher timelines. Okay? It's not acceptable over there. So you guys are going to need to figure it the fuck out. Okay? You got to figure it out. It's not acceptable. We want high standards over here. So we have to set them and show them. Once they can see those, like what needs to be achieved, at least they got a goal now. And like I said, the body is a remarkable thing. It's, you know, people can restore their seals. But for right now, we're trying to lighten everything up on these timelines, and we need everybody's participation. If you're paranoid and feeling like you're getting gang stalked, you better go hunt some warlocks. You better go hunt some warlocks, and you better learn to alchemize, because otherwise the cosmic court judges are coming for your seals. Just know that right now. Like, they're not playing around. They're coming, and they're clearing out these lower dimensional timelines. They've got portals. They're going in and out, and they're battling the archons on the dreamscape, like I said before. So the darkness is losing its grip. We just need to give it a little help. Just need to, on the collective. You know what I'm saying? Speed that. Yeah. So I hope you like this warlock hunting. Be careful out there. Shout out to all my monad twin brothers and sisters on the twin flame journey. I hope you enjoyed this.